Look what they've done to my band, Ma. Look what they've done to my band, Ma. They used to do the albums all so right, but now they're acting like hypocrites. See what I did there? Look what they've done to my band. Hey folks, welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm Michael Noland. Tonight, you know what we're going to do? We're going to talk about Pink Floyd and how, in my humble opinion, hear me out, that both Roger Waters and David Gilmour are doing their very best to ruin the legacy of Pink Floyd. All right, so before some of you start madly typing into the comment section how Pink Floyd's legacy can never be tarnished because of their very discography, I agree with you. Pink Floyd is one of those bands, in my humble opinion, that will be listened to by future generations, by ears not yet born, okay? So there's no disagreement between us on that. But what I'm talking about is Pink Floyd is also, for me, one of rock and roll's upper echelon bands. Now, by that I mean an upper echelon band in my head is represented by core members that identify that band so deeply that without them, the band ceases to be the band. All right, so the Beatles are an excellent example of what I'm talking about. No Ringo, no Beatles, folks. And when John Bonham died, there was no Led Zeppelin. You see, I think that every band has different seasons. They have their early season where they establish themselves, they establish a sound. Then they have that glorious golden season where they are actively making new music. It's being sold by the billions, right? And this is the band at their most powerful. But all bands come to an end, despite what Foreigner may think. And then the band ends into what I call their autumn phase, all right? That's the phase where the band is over. The band has ceased to exist, but former members are still out making music or touring, perhaps even touring with that band's music. Millions of fans still, pay exorbitant prices to see them, and their music is still seen as, well, rather current. With the Beatles, we had their winter of discontent. They broke up bitterly, but before John was tragically murdered, a lot of relationships had been patched by then, and Paul McCartney touring to this very day, anytime he decides to tour, you've got a major tour for that year. Same thing with Led Zeppelin when they did that one more concert that we absolutely adored. It wasn't really Led Zeppelin. They billed themselves as Led Zeppelin, and they kind of got away with it because they still had the DNA of that band because John's son, Jason Bonham, drummed on there. Now, I'm getting to my point here, believe it or not, folks. You see, it's in that autumn phase for a band when the band is dead, but the band is still very much in our ears, in our consciousness. It's during that period of time that all the ex-members have an opportunity to put the icing on the cake. The Beatles have done this successfully. So has Led Zeppelin, and in my opinion, the jury's still out regarding Pink Floyd. I'll give you a good example of what I'm talking about. They just sold their catalog, all right? Now, it was for a very hefty price, but it was also 20% less than what they were offered last year at this time. And why is that? Well, the reasons given were because of the bitter fighting between David Gilmour and Roger Waters. Now, a primary reason given for that 20% deduction was, of course, Roger Waters' political stance in a very hotly debated political year. Now, the article continued to mention that another reason was because of the continuing bickering between Roger Waters and David Gilmour, or at least Roger Waters and David Gilmour's wife. What is her name? Sweet Polly Purebred? But it didn't stop there. Last year, Roger Waters decided to release a newly recorded version of Dark Side of the Moon. It was abysmal, a horrible mistake. It hasn't helped the Pink Floyd brand one bit. And now, the latest news, both of these gentlemen, David Gilmour and Roger Waters, have decided through the wisdom of Solomon to split the Dark Side of the Moon right in half. One pretty much performing songs from side one, while the other pretty much performs songs from side two. Now, in my opinion, both of these gentlemen have an opportunity here. And of course, it would require the cooperation of Nick Mason, which I don't think would be a big problem. You see, with the Beatles, we at least got the rooftop concert, didn't we? And with Led Zeppelin, we got Celebration Day, and that's key to understanding what I'm proposing here. You see, with Pink Floyd, there could be no getting back together, not truly, without Richard Wright. But if they found the right keyboardist that had some sort of connection with these guys and decided to do one more, even just one more televised concert, they could repair the horrible damage they've done to this band. Remember, right this second, they're worth 20% less than they were last year. I mean, as it stands, you have to go see both of these guys to kind of get the whole album, and we're running out of time here, folks. Just think, if these two guys could get their heads out of their ass, what could be accomplished? Maybe even one more album. Because, you know, if they did that, I can guarantee you they would more than make up for the $100 million that they lost on this sale. As a matter of fact, their brand and the catalog that they sold would be fixed to sail on into history with a good wind behind it. All right, folks, that's the video for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. I always ask that, but it helps with channel growth, and well, the video gets more views that way too. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, that's easy. All you have to do is hit that subscribe to the tribe button, of course, and then tap that top bell icon if you're smart. That way you're notified of all my future videos. All right, I'm Michael Noland. This is The Bottom Line. But once again, the bottom line as I see it, I know I'm going to get a lot of disagreements. Usually whenever I talk about Pink Floyd, I get disagreements in the comments. That's all right, because you know what? That's exactly what makes us the tribe. That's what shows that we are the tribe.